cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Hey folks, Dude here, coming to you yet another edition of Dude After Dark, and I did actually play with the levels on the laptop. So the laptop is the feed. Okay, those of you who don't know how I do stuff, this is really pulling back the curtain here. But essentially what it is I have my desktop computer running YouTube. So there's two cameras side by side, two microphones running in concert, and hopefully everything works out like that, and nothing goes. Yeah, we're trying to avoid the no. Sound guy, stop with the. He gets in a groove, okay, and then he just won't stop with the groove. Oh God, no, not the quack. Stop. No quacks. Okay, no quacks. Ding, maybe, but no quack. I'm fixing that one, okay? So
put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
All right, so back to the original line of thinking here. Okay, so I have two devices in concert. Literally, I have my laptop, which is a Win 10 laptop. It's a Dell computer, nothing crazy, but it's good enough to do the online stuff. That is going to be running camera number 2. Camera number 1 is going to be running on YouTube. So essentially what I have is I have two devices that are streaming simultaneously. Hopefully one of those is better than the other. Those people on the Facebook side, you guys are going to have to let me know, or I'll have to look at it in review after I'm done blabbing, because what's going on is I think that the laptop computer was highlining the microphone input, and it was just basically sounded like, you know, the Tasmanian devil having a spastic crap fest. Okay, maybe not that bad, but it was like this really high tinny, just really just. It was not good, okay? It was just really just no, sound guy. No. Okay, anyway, so basically I have two devices running, so I have two simultaneous feeds. So if you get to check me out at one or the other on your leisure, there is two distinct bit streams running out to be two distinct items and live action therein. Anyway, so looking in the room, Martina Sasquatch, appreciate you coming on by, dude. Yeah, I did see about Gilbert Gottfried, and I got to tell you what, he is probably one of the funniest guys I ever saw on Howard Stern. Just stream of consciousness. The guy was just absolutely hilarious. He was actually New York Jewish guy who really kind of talked like this, but then he would amp his voice up and it would sound a lot like this. So yeah, he would do this obnoxious, grating kind of, just in your face New York Jewish guy that was just absolutely hilarious to me, being a New Yorker and actually Jewish, but I just thought it was hilarious. So in the room also we got Logan Ray, Barricade Shot, and Patriot Fever. Appreciate you coming on, folks, and I salute you. Looking at stuff as it is, I got to break out on this one, mostly because I really am pretty much a one-item voter. I really only vote for one item, and that is it. I really don't vote for marriage rights or taxation or states' rights or anything else. I vote only, strictly, staunchly, expressly, only for the Second Amendment. Semper Fi, Marines, carry on. Anyway, so now it's come down that my state of suck has now said, oh, we're going to stop the ghost guns. Okay, first and foremost, if anything was a ghost gun, it wouldn't be able to do anything to you because obviously it would be a ghost gun. Now, what they're saying essentially is 80% firearms or stuff that you're making the last 20% of manufacture in your home to make it a completed item and actually a functional firearm In my statement, essentially, they're saying is, "Oh, that's now illegal. We're going to give you this." Here's the way that they did this. They said, "We're going to stick you for it. We're going to put you in jail, but oh yeah, it's not going to hold you from ever owning firearms again." It's basically, you know what it is? It's Bravo Sierra. Really, that's just completely all it is. It's just Bravo Sierra. There's no other way to simply call it what it is. Is it's really just a bunch of yeah, it's just yeah, just it's just queef. It doesn't do anything. Thanks, sound guy. It doesn't do anything to stop the bad guys because bad guys really don't do things the way that Joe Kaka said they do. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about President yeah, President of these United States. So okay, so President found it very interesting to say that anybody could get one of these ghost gun kits and have it functional within 30 minutes. All right, folks, let me put this in perspective. If you have a milling machine and you're doing a polymer and you have a milling machine that's a 3D CAD CAM machine that basically can do those precision things, 30 minutes? Yes, it could do that. But it would also do that on alloy. It would also do that on any material that you put in there because it is a very fast, precise machining device. For you to do an 80% receiver at home, most people tend to do it on their drill press, or they tend to do it with a router, or they tend to do it with a hand drill. And it's not the most precise thing. And I've seen some examples of people doing home build firearms, and oh my stars and garters, it is just really not good. Let's just say that some of those executions are downright scary, and either they work or they don't work. But what they said in my state is essentially, if you maintain to build one, if you do this, that, and the other thing, you have to put a serial number on there from an FFL. Well, let me give you a little behind the scenes. Talking with a bunch of guys in FFLs in other areas than mine, they said expressly, we can't do that. And the FFLs that we have won't allow us to do that. For you to put a serial number on a firearm, you have to maintain two distinct licenses. You have to have not just a class 1 or a class 3 license, which is simply selling standard firearms or machine guns, silencers, short barreled weapons, all the rest of that fun stuff. Class 3. You need to have an SOT or a special operations transfer or something like that. I forget what it is, but it's an SOT license. And the next license you need to have is a Group 7 license. A Group 7 license costs about $10,000 a year. It is a manufacturer's license. Now, people that have bigger corporations, like Henry or Colt or Winchester or, like any of the bigger names, they will have a Group 7 license. $10,000 a year to those guys is pocket change. Ruger especially, that's pocket change. Anyway, so the thing about it is you need to have that manufacturer's license to put a serial number on any firearm. Now, the way that they got around this one in Maryland is in the Second Amendment and also in the Constitution, it says you cannot stop somebody from making a homemade firearm. So, how do you get around the Maryland law without getting a polymer 80 kit or anybody else's stuff or, anybody else along those lines to build your own 80% firearm at home? Well, it is not going to be an 80% firearm. It's going to be a 0% firearm. That's literally where you take the piece of metal, polymer, whatever's your base material, and you take that item and you mill it from its fruition of a very raw piece of just metal. It's just basically something hanging out. It's just a big ass piece of steel that's really not doing anything. Or it's brass, or it's just something. It's just one of those things that you find hanging out that you're going to be using for those express purposes. Why is this thing doing weird stuff on me? It just got weird. Okay. All right. Anyway. Oh, that's what it is. It's trying to sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Stop sinking. I don't want you to sink. Stop sinking. That's damn annoying, man. It's just one of these things where they basically play with your stuff remotely. And this is an older tablet, so yeah, they can do that kind of stuff. I think the newer stuff would probably do it as well, but it's bloody. Damn bastards. I hate when you pull this crap on me. Then I got to basically go through, start from scratch, and do it all over again. Anyway, so give me 1 second here. And so basically, what it is the way around to regulate this in such a way that they don't fall afoul of the way that the Constitution is written. Is they said expressly, if you manufacture this from a base element of being just nothing, you then can make your own guns at home. Well, I got bad news for Maryland. What I'm simply going to do is, hypothetically, if I did possess any of these things, hypothetically, I would be stupid enough to say that I own 1 or 50 of them. If I did have any of them, oh yeah, they left the state like 6 months. I heard this stuff was coming down the pike. And if you did search my property, obviously you wouldn't find any of them because they're, in air quotes, they're gone. So, Maryland, if you want to search my property, you won't find any. Okay. So that's not going to have happen. But what I am doing is every time that they have been saying that they're going to do this stuff and they're going to come up with these enforcements, I've just been going out and buying serialized lowers, and I've just been replacing the unobtainium, don't make it at home type stuff for a serialized lower firearm. Translation, you guys are just encouraging me to buy more guns. And in Maryland, you are allowed to buy 1 lower per month. Now, that's the law. 1 gun per month. You're required to buy 1 gun per month. That reminds me, I got to put in another order for a couple more lowers. Something else that came down the pike, and I saw this coming from miles away. I don't know if you guys really heard about this one or not, but the FRT trigger, or the forced reset trigger. This is going to be reason number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, infinity, why you probably just don't buy these things. Some that looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, and goes bark, bark like a duck. You probably don't want to have all these things in your collection because probably what it is the BATF or AFT, according to Joe Kaka, will say, no, you can't have, because if it goes like that, that is a machine gun. So we are not going to allow you to, okay, well, you probably should just simply just be going accurately. Because I'll tell you, man, shooting full auto, it's fun, but it's a bullet hose. You blow through a 30-round stick like just so fast. It's not even. Sound guy, you and I need to have a little discussion because that machine gun sound effect just. No, it sucks, okay? It is not good. You want this. That's what you want, okay? Even better, you probably want something that sounds like this. Maybe not that, but maybe more like, yeah, that. So anyway, looking at things as it is in Maryland, they've now included this to be, you are not going to be allowed to self-make these things from 80% firearms. And I think what's going to have happen essentially is anybody that has 80% stuff, they'll probably just sell it to somebody else, or it'll be transferred to somebody else, or it'll be buried in a backyard somewhere, and it's polymer. Hello, you're not going to find it. Hang on a second. In the room here, Patriot Fever did find a coincidence that Kaka was talking about gun control yesterday, and then NUC happened today. Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you can always count on. If you need something hypercritically just bad to have happen, it always happens with Democrats in office. Also, notice the timing is always like surprisingly suspect when they roll out some crazy to do something unusual. Yeah. Also, notice that guy that basically shot like Steve Scalise and all the other guys. Oh, yeah. Raging Democrat, raging Union Democrat. All these guys coming out and doing these things usually comes out to be that they're disaffected Democrats or they're closet crazies that nobody caught up with. Even the Democrats admit, and it was one of those times when Gavin Newsom was glaringly obvious when something like this happened out in California. It's like, yeah, we can't stop random acts of violence. No, squat, idiot. You can't stop random acts of violence. You can't. I actually happen to find a bottle locally, folks, so I shall. Honest tea, green tea, organic. I commit it to you. the preferred libation of the 80s podcast channel. Anyway, so looking at things as it is, gun control right now, even Bill Clinton admitted losing 42 seats for the 1994 Gun Control Act, also known as the assault weapon ban, was a major loser, and he regretted doing it. Joe Kaka, dude, go full speed ahead. Don't stop now. Continue on. Do not stop. Enrage every single person you possibly can. Like that guy that walked up to him and was like, hey, this, that, and the other thing, you're trying to ban firearms, this, that, and the other thing. And Joe Kaka looked at him and was like, I don't work for you. You're right. You don't work for me. But guess what, asshole? There's a bunch of other guys in other seats in lower position to you that can bring all your wants and thoughts to a screeching halt. Believe me, folks, there's nothing further that you can do to piss somebody off than trying to take away their guns after you're already screwed with their paychecks and you're already screwed the amount of gas they can stick in their car and function affordably in any of those processes. Trust me, Joe Kaka, you are going to rue the day you even said the word gun control. Believe that, prick. Let's see. Scrolly. Patriot Fever. Soundly, a ghost gun could be a proton pack with a really long half-life and bad stream crossing results. Never cross the streams. Oh, man. I can't say the number of times me and a buddy were drunk in the men's room and we're like, don't cross the streams. Don't cross the streams. The ghost will blow. We'll blow up the ghost. And there's like people standing around looking at us like, what the hell are these two idiots up to? Don't cross the streams. Don't cross the streams. Martina Sasquatch. The Israelis made guns underneath laundromats without the British knowing. Good luck stopping the flow, folks. Okay. I've only got one name for you to even think up and do some research on. Luty, Luty, who was a British patriot freedom fighter who proved you could make a functional submachine gun, not a great one, mind you, but a functional submachine gun with stuff that you would find in a hardware store. Then he published findings. He published up the plans. And the British government is like, oh, no, we cannot allow this commoner to have firearms. Never mind the fact that dude had never broken a law previous. He was attending to family members that were pretty much circling the drain with cancer. Never mind the fact that basically he never actually sold, transferred, or used it in a commission of any crime whatsoever, other than the mere possession and building therein and expressly sharing the information of how to make a home-built firearm. The British government stepped on him with both feet to the point where they basically made the guy just sick, destitute, and pretty much lose all of his family members while in jail, gave him no special accreditations to attend their funerals, and pretty much treated him about as bad as they possibly could. Now, in that vein, I guarantee you, if I ever have any dealings with the British government, I'm going to put fist up it so blanking hard that they're going to feel me grabbing a hold of their tonsils and giving them a twist. I guarantee you I will fist them harder than they've ever been fisted before by any entity. If I ever can make this happen, believe that. Patriot Fever, my bows only need nothing, and when SHTF hits, I only need one good shot. I do fairly well, 35 yards at the moment. Patriot Fever, if you're going to go bows and arrows, I got to go old school on you. There is nothing more hardcore, effective, and downright blanking nasty to get stuck with than a crossbow. It can put a 300 grain bolt at about 300 feet per second accurately to 200 yards, if not further. There is many guys who basically were wearing armor going, I'm bulletproof. Well, even though bullets didn't exist yet, but I'm bulletproof. You cannot harm me. Bonk. And they got the high-speed acupuncture, and they were laying on the ground going, oh, gee, this was rather a mistake. I seem to be having a puncture wound, and I'm leaking bodily fluids. Yeah, dude, because the dirty little secret is no matter how good a tank you build, somebody's going to build a better bullet to penetrate it. Patriot Fever sound guy needs to go back to basic for a third time. Oh man, you know what? I don't even know if sound guy. Actually, sound guy, are you actually I never even asked him about that one. Sound guy, are you actually a veteran? I don't know if he's in the Marine Corps, but he says he's a veteran. Martina Sasquatch, Brandon H made one, and I had trouble hunting down the correct size tubing. Well, you got to remember too. You also basically have to do if you're going to do something like that, and you got to do the math. Essentially, the size of the tubing is irrelevant. The size of the bolt is irrelevant. The physics of it are exactly how much does it weigh, and I think the actual happy spot for a 9mm anything firearm, I think, is about a 10-ounce bolt with a return spring that doesn't make the thing work too hard. Anyway, so let's see. Scroll. Why this thing's being weird on me here? It's like trying to like sleep or something. Hang on a second here. Me do this right. Okay, let's see what that does. Not wrong button. Didn't want that. Wanted that. Okay, so anyway, like I said, essentially these force reset triggers. You probably don't want anything to do with them. 80% firearms right now. If you do, and this is going to be one of those theoretical, hypothetical, maybe in the world of possible. If you do ever obtain any of these magical 80% paperweights, shall we say, I would not do it by any means other than face-to-face, using cash, and probably at a gun show. And if you want to really go hardcore and crazy, I would probably wear a pair of glasses, and I would make sure that nobody is filming me in the process, because that's one of those other dirty little secrets that's come out about being in gun shows is sometimes they'll have undercover cops walking around with cameras and they're filming people. Now, I have heard it and I've seen it known that the providers of such activities tell everybody, do not walk around with a camera. If you're seen walking around with a camera, you will be summarily ejected. Now, I can tell you for a fact, if a cop is walking around with a camera and he's, doing one of those type of things, they'll eject the cop and they'll tell him no in certain terms. This is a private get-together. You do not have any rights whatsoever to be in here. And if you want to run that camera again, bring a warrant, or else we will have you arrested for trespassing, which they can do. So scrolly. I would not do those, force reset triggers. Now, here's one of those really pulling back the curtain things. Obviously, you guys have heard, and there's going to be a couple stories popping up about this one. I want to broach it real quick here. The thing about Disney and their wokeness going for the LG, XYZ, PDQ, plus, minus, ampersand, equal sign, everything else going down by the wayside. I really, truly don't care who you do. I really don't care when you do it. Number one, I don't want to see it. Number two, I really don't want to hear about it. Number three, I don't want you teaching kids about it because it's not anything they need to worry about at age kindergarten to, I don't know, maybe like 7th or 8th grade. If they want to ask about sex, they should be talking to their parents. They should not be talking to anybody but those people who are the direct interactors to them most of the time, not the teachers. And I don't know where this high arrogance is coming from with educators who go, oh, yeah, we're the ones that should be teaching your kids about XYZ, PDQ, and all the, various symbols and craziness afterwards. That should not be anything that anybody's doing but the parents. Just give me 1 second here. Girth Destroyer of Minge. Oh man. Anyway, so that's one of my buddies, Rick. He's from down under. And I'm not talking about like if you flip the United States upside down, he was in New England. No, he's actually a resident Aussie. So anyway, looking at stuff as it is, Disney is really stepping in it big time here, and I think it's not going to work out for them so good. One of the heirs to the Disney throne, one of them is like, oh yeah, go full speed ahead, go completely woke and as much as possible, and I just want to hear all about this stuff, and I want to make sure everybody knows all about the ins and outs and the XYZs, PDQs, and all that good stuff. They just want to hear all about it. And oh no, sound guy, sound guy. Uh oh, no, no, no. Was it good for you? Oh, jeez. Stop that. Stop. I got the stop button here. Stop, 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 stop. We don't we don't need to hear about people going, oh no, 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 no. We don't need to know that one, okay? Stop. Stop. That's one we don't need. Anyway, but the funny damn thing is, of course, there's all this firearm stuff. Even this is a news story coming in from AMMOland.com. Not even the verify the AFT ghost gun claims. So the war on homemade firearms, like the war on guns itself, is based on false claims, skewed statistics, faulty logic, and lashings of media hype. Yeah, it's stuff that we all knew. Okay, I mean, just stop. Okay, we know it for what it is, and we know that that the upcoming election, it's not going to be good for you guys. Okay, now here's something that most of the people probably haven't caught about firearms. This one's a little under the radar right now, but going into the Supreme Court, like going into the Supreme Court. This is what the NRA and the CRPA had petitioned a case challenging California's ban on magazines capable of holding more than 10 rounds. Well, 23 attorney generals support the SCOTUS magazine case. So finally, the Supreme Court of the United States is hearing a gun case, and this is only the first step to canceling gun control in liberal states and cities. Now, standard capacity magazines are anywhere from 20 to 50 to 100 to a belt of ammo. It's not making it any more or less deadly, okay? Essentially, the capacity of the magazine only means how fast you need to reload. And there's been videos that are posted out there showing the false premise of, oh yeah, if we limit it to 10 rounds, that'll stop all the bad guys from making as many bad guy actions. No, there was a guy actually doing a video on YouTube, and he basically goes, okay, I got 10 round magazines here. Drop, reload. Drop, reload. Drop, reload. Now, anybody that's in active engagement with a firearm knows you don't just stand out and just keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. You shoot, you duck, you reload, you come back out, you re-engage. So for 10 rounds in a re-engagement, that sounds about right. Most of the time you're going to be doing active engagement. You don't want to sit out there any longer than 10 rounds because you're just simply saying, hi, I'm the big flashy target making loud noises. Please shoot back at me. Everybody knows that in combat, you don't be that guy at all. I got an email the other day, and this one is particularly noisome. It came in, and I got to blow up the picture here. So give me 1 second here. Give me my lead. So it was an email. It was an email. I cannot begin to tell you just how noisome this was. Getting it from the Democrats. And this is from activists at Democrats.com, sent to my email. But the thing is, that's kind of humorous, is I came up with a joke name that's just kind of gibberish, and they still send to that guy. So the email is, of course, from, Democrats.com, activists at Democrats.com, and it is this amount of twaddle. Democrats.com, big bold text with, red and blue and, stupid. Friend, President Biden's moratorium on student loan payments is set to expire on August 31, so millions of Americans can once again be placed under the crushing financial burden of student debt, even as inflation eats into more and more of their paychecks. Okay, the first thing the students did to them. The second thing is something that the government is doing to them. So, first thing, students. Second thing, they're doing to themselves because they voted for Democrats. So I could justifiably say this is stuff that they pretty much did to themselves, okay? For the first 2 years of this pandemic, the moratorium on student loan payments gave so many people the ability to pay for critical needs like food, transportation, housing, and other necessities. Could it have maybe been that you're giving them a stipend check every month? Could it have maybe been that you basically made it so that the economy right now is so jacked up they couldn't find a job? Oh, yeah. You had them on lockdown for 8 months, 6 months, whatever it was. You crashed the economy to basically said this false premise of a virus that really is not so bad as what we originally thought it was. And I'm saying virus like computer virus, YouTube. Computer viruses everywhere. You got to really, really watch out for, computer Chinese viruses. And oh, those Chinese computer viruses are just, yeah, that's the kind of Chinese computer virus we're talking about here. That. Oh, it's horrible. It's just a bad computer virus. It's just everywhere. Anyway, so looking at things as it is, it's basically saying yet again, as inflation rises, adding to the burdens placed on working class folks, it will cause widespread hardship and suffering. They're admitting what they're doing. Thor's hammer, folks. They're admitting what they're doing. My word. How blithely idiotic does a Democrat need to be to not read between the lines of, oh, yeah, we just did it to you. Hope you enjoy just a nice, deep. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying that. Yeah, you did it to yourselves. Now, this is one of these pathologically sociopathic things that Democrats do. They will blame the other side, or they will admit as an aside that of which they're doing to try to deflate the effects of what they're doing so nobody else does the math and goes, hey, they're doing it to me. Hey, idiots, they're doing it to you. Catch on to the fact that they're simply just going to, every chance they possibly can, right on the old cherries. That's right. When you vote Democrat, it's the same thing as voting for. You guys are doing it to yourselves. More than 90% of student loans are held by the federal government. No kidding. 1.6 trillion, folks. Legislation was passed half a century ago, giving the president the power to cancel those loans with the stroke of a pen, immediately free borrowers from the debt trap. Wrong. That is not how the law is written. Our broad coalition of progressive organizations is asking the president of the Biden administration to put everyday people first and cancel the federal student loan debt immediately. Sign your name to our petition and we'll deliver it alongside thousands of grassroots supporters. Folks, and I was trying to explain this to a 20-something as a passenger when I was doing an Uber ride. You don't just take $1.6 trillion of debt, throw it away, and have the economy go, well, that was cool. Yeah, we're fine. Everything's gonna bounce right back, and we're good. No. Our GDP is only twice, maybe barely twice and a half that, and you're saying you just basically took that amount of money. Whoop, bye. Now, here's the other thing too: is these kids stop owing this money. What are they going to do? Are they suddenly going to go, oh, I've got this extra X amount of money that I was going to be paying for my student loan debt. I'm going to plug that into the economy. Probably not, folks. Probably not, because these guys are still working suck-ass jobs, which is why it's a problem for them to pay back the loan in the first place, because they got a degree in assistant basket weaving by Aztec, nabobs of the, staycation period. It's idiocy, folks. Just give me 1 second here. Martina Sasquatch, dude, have you had any to go after the antsies with a minigun lately? Ants with a minigun. Ants with a minigun. Let's see. Ants with a minigun. Ants with a minigun. Let's see. No. Oh, you mean something like that? Something like that. One of my old videos. Oh yeah, that was the it's it's an old downloaded game that I had. It actually freezes the screen, so I was only doing it for a second. Hopefully, things didn't sketch up too much. But it's an old game where you basically have like multiple tools that pop. I could throw you guys a link, but it's hilarious. It works. Yeah, that was exactly what I just did there, Martina Sasquatch. Um, yeah, they're going after the ants with the minigun. That was exactly what I just did. Literally, what it is you can have over the screen. It's basically like a fun screensaver thing. What's on the screen? It's really like an 8-bit game, and it's fun. But it's one of those things. Anyway, so I lost my place here. This is classically Texas, folks, and wouldn't be surprised if DeSantis does this too. But Governor Abbott, in his infinite wisdom, is saying he's going to start busing illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C. as Biden scraps the Trump era border policy. I think I've also heard DeSantis saying that he's going to be sending illegals off to Delaware. That's dailywire.com. But man, I'll tell you what, that is absolutely how you handle it. You put them in those guys' backyard, and you have all his local constituents going, "You a-hole! What are all these Mexicans doing here? What are all these Salvadorans doing here? What are all these Nobody speaks English, and they're all like running around with various communicable diseases because they haven't been cleared." Ugh, wow. Wow. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not. This one's coming from one of my new favorite websites. Just give me 1 second here. Coming from howtogeek.com. And it says essentially Bitcoin is not private. Your transaction history is public. Now, here's the dirty little secret, folks. This is how it works. Unsecured, 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 unsecured. Even on a VPN, unsecured, 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 unsecured. Hits Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes, it's now encrypted. Okay. If you just went from your bank and you deposited the money to your Bitcoin and you said, put $200 in my Bitcoin. The bank goes, well, I know what the $200. It went to that, escrow account that basically is called, XYZ Bitcoin. Well, after XYZ Bitcoin runs the amount up, or you do the data, the data mining or the bit mining or whatever the hell it is, what you basically are plowing up as much value as you possibly can, and it becomes $40,000, and you take that out, your bank goes, hey, he's got $40,000. Hello, he just got 40,000. So the amount that's in the Bitcoin may be secure, but as soon as it comes out or anything goes in, everybody knows about it. So they say essentially in here, public distributed ledger technology is basically a giant transaction history of all the economic activity on a given blockchain that is put out in the open for all to see and use at their discretion. Kind of like what I just told you guys. Imagine if a major bank like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo published all the transactions happening across all their accounts for everyone who cared to look could see it, and made access to look free to anyone around the entire world. That might upset a few people and seem radical, but that's pretty much what's happening on the public blockchain networks like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's an experiment in radical transparency, and some consider it a feature of the technology, not a disadvantage. Remember what I was telling you about messing around with Bitcoin? Yeah, I'm not into it for a very good reason. It's unproven technology, and there's a lot of holes. I would rather just have cash or do barter. Why? Well, there's two things that happens when you do a cash transaction or a barter transaction. Number one, physical object meets person. Person takes that physical object to another physical object. There's nobody knowing about that transaction. When you barter something that's previously owned, you might have gotten it from another means, say like a cash transaction. There is no data trail on that item. That item then goes, oh, I want to trade this for this. And they go, oh, yeah, cool. Next thing you know, you change hands with these items, and nobody knows that the transaction had occurred. I'm telling you, folks, cash and barter, if you want to try to stay gray man, is going to be the way to do things. Now, there's something else that you can do, and this is really, really gray man, and this is one most people don't think of, is if you go and you start doing like the storage wars, and you're pulling up a bunch of crap, Well, obviously, some of that crap is going to have some value. So you take that stuff that has some value and you sell it for cash. That is something that they know. Okay, this guy went to a storage place and bought a storage thing that was full of stuff. They don't know what the stuff is. Nobody knows what the stuff is. Most of the time, those storage guys just basically say, yeah, we're just going to cut the lock and let you in. Did they really go in there before and cut the lock and, basically go picking through everything before you go there? Well, if they do, they're not a good place to go to in the first place. But there's a lot of crap in there that you really can second sell. That's one way of raising funds if you basically want to play gray man. You do need some, seed money, and you actually probably are going to have like 2 or 3 of those things that you pull out that are going to be absolute, complete, and utter crap. But even then, if you look at some of the stuff that you could be recycling, you can make a few bucks on it. Anyway, public blockchains are built to be transparent. Blockchains are used in cryptocurrency as a publicly distributed ledger technology. You can imagine it's a massive database keeping track of all the credits and debits happening on the network. It's called a blockchain because each set of transactions is collected into a block. Those transactions need to be validated through a trust layer to ensure they are accurate and there's no frauds or corruption. This is done through a consensus mechanism that audits the accuracy of the transactions moving through the system. If all the transactions are validated, then the block is added to the chain. It becomes part of the data encapsulated on the network. But it's publicly acknowledged stuff. Not into it, folks. Just not. I don't know if you guys caught up with this one or not, but SecDef Austin, he got more than just a little bit of from Matt Gertz. Folks, I cannot begin to tell you how epic the exchange was between Matt Gertz or whatever his name is, going against SecDef Austin. Oh, my stars and there was one point where Austin was kind of like, literally gobsmacked and sitting still for like about 10 seconds, and you heard the gears just trying to get it back in first. The dude was crash boxing the truck trying to get it back into a low gear. It was utterly blanking epic, and I commend it to you. Oh my word. He finished up with this one. The fact you're embarrassed by your country, I'm sorry for that. SecDef. The fact you're Austin got snippy to Getz, or Gertz, whatever it is. Gaetz. So I guess it would be Getz. SecDef. Embarrassed by your country, I'm sorry for that. Getz. I'm embarrassed by your leadership. I'm not embarrassed for my country. It's a disgrace that you would sit here and conflate all your failures with all those of the uniform service members. Pretty much just sit on it. Rick in the Room. UK has started developing central bank digital currencies. It's all part of the digital identity, dude. I think we might have talked about this. They're going to monitor everything that you spend. Well, if you get cash, that's different. A cash withdrawal in small amounts for your daily expenditures that they can't track as easy. Yeah, that's better. Especially if you keep pulling out like small amount, till you have a pile of cash. And then they go, oh, no, we don't allow currency anymore. It's like, oh, that's nice. Well, I won't spend it here. I'll spend it someplace else. Then you can control your money until you can only spend it in certain places. Keep an eye on this CBDCs. They're doing it here in Australia, too. Yeah. I think I actually might have to come up with a new one. I might actually have to come up with... let's see. I might actually have to come up with the squeal after. Here we go. It'd be something like, and or would it be like this? Squeal and then. I think it would be squealed. Yeah, it would be squealed and cash register. Okay, I'll have to have the sound guy working on that one. Squealed and cash register. Yeah, that I think that one's a good one. We'll have to do that one. Yep. Hang on a second. I'll make myself a note. just to keep myself honest here. Uh, Speaking of squeal and cash register, we just basically finished up and got our taxes done. Rick, that would have stayed in the chat room, dude, because there may have been more than a little bit of, how do you say it without saying it? No, no, sound guy, no. Okay, I think sound guy was saying that kind of activity was going on. Okay, obviously they're married, so they probably might bump into each other once in a while. Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. Speaking of wee, oh man, this guy got it long, hard, deep, and proper, and he might actually become somebody's. Yeah, he might become somebody's. Yeah, that guy. All right. So anyway, California man, this is coming in from analyzingamerica.org. California man said he tried to join ISIS and said beheading videos are quote unquote really cool, learns his fate. In the liberal utopia of California, a man was arrested and is investigated by the FBI for supporting foreign Islamic terrorists. 25-year-old Bernard Raymond Augustine, who once said that videos of beheadings were good and really cool, was convicted and found guilty by a federal jury. That trial lasted just 1 week, and Augustine was sentenced to 20 years in the pokey. Augustine attempted to provide material support to ISIS, which stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and al-Sham. ISIS is a designated foreign terrorist organization. According to court documents, everything began when Augustine started watching IS propaganda. He even searched online on how to safely join ISIS. Wow. He watched videos that glorified ISIS violence, such as, quote unquote, the flames of war. Augustine viewed websites about ISIS recruitment practices, including one titled, quote, How does a Westerner join ISIS? Is there a recruitment or an application process? End quote. In 2016, Augustine went to great lengths to help ISIS. He even traveled to San Francisco to North Africa to join ISIS. Augustine was quickly detained by local authorities after arriving in Tunisia. He never made it to ISIS-controlled territory across the border in Libya. Sounds like one of those guys. The FBI was like, "Hey, guys, heads up, just just a heads up. This guy, yeah, you might want to watch out when he comes on board, and don't let him go any further because when he comes up and well, he's that guy. Okay." More on the story. Augustine also posted numerous statements in support of ISIS and violent extremism, such as the Islamic State of True Islam, Muslims who leave the West and answer the call for struggle and march until they are victorious or martyred as true believers, and the ISIS caliphate can't be established and maintained except through the blood of the Mujahideen who practice the true belief. Special kind of moron here. The defendant represented himself in trial and testified he maintained his interest in supporting ISIS. Augustine testified that ISIS videos of members executing Syrian captives and beheadings were, quote, good and, quote, really cool, end quote. He admitted that one way he intended to provide material support ISIS was participate in ISIS propaganda videos by providing the necessary English language voiceover. When asked to confirm his testimony that he would do it all over again and wouldn't go back today, Augustine responded, "No, tomorrow when they let me off." The FBI investigated the case. Needless to say, he's going to be probably investigating the deepest, darkest depths of, maybe a little bit of, hi, where the guys saying, yeah, it's probably going to be.
Come on, squeal.
But I pooped from there.
Okay, dude was probably holding out for a while on that one. Okay. Wow. Big touchdown. So yeah, California moron. Uh, uh Rick and I spoke on this one. The French president, Macron, quote, everyone must be safe. I am opposed to self-defense, end quote. Why? Because a guy zapped a burglar that was thinking about doing untoward thing to his wife and kids, and they basically screwed him. Got bad news for you, Mr. Burglar. You come into my house, you're going to be leaving with a new hole to breathe through, and it's not going to be good for your health. Uh, this one is a meme I posted up, and I think I sent this one to you, Rick, but there's a guy sitting on a plane. He's obviously wearing a mask, and he's wearing like a ski cap. On the ski cap, it says Foxtrot Julia Bravo FJB. Let's go, Brandon. And the statement on the meme says, on a full flight from Chicago to Phoenix, and I think only one person understood my hat. LOL. That's hilarious. I'm going to have to find the sound effect again, folks, because we have to be very careful about how we describe. Oh, yeah, you really have to be, like, not untoward about how you describe that. We're going to be... Yes. Supposedly, Mo Dern. Mo Dern. Yeah, we're talking about the people who are getting the... Oh, no, we're talking about this. Yeah, that. And the sound effect at the end is the 44 Magnum shot. So we're talking about the 44 Magnum shot. Well, seems Mo Dur has had to recall almost 1 million doses of the Yeah, we're talking about that little stinger on the end, the 44 Magnum shot. So, they were calling 764,900 doses of made by the contract manufacturer Rovi, so ROVI, after a vial was found contaminated with a foreign body. Did I tell you what the foreign body was? No, because all these guys go, oh no, it's a secret formulation, it's proprietary. We can't tell you what's in the... No safety issues have been identified. Mo Dur said after the lots have been distributed to Norway, Poland, Portugal, Spain, and Sweden in January. The drug maker said the contamination was found in just one vial and was recalling the whole lot out of an abundance of caution. It did not disclose what was found in the vial. Japanese authorities last year suspended the use of some doses of which Mo Dur later recalled after an investigation found stainless steel contaminant in some vials. Yeah, from Japan time, September 7, 2021. A 49-year-old man in Japan died last month after he was given a dose of the Mo Dur that was among batches later recalled from use by the local distributor, the health ministry said on Monday. Mo Dur and Takeda Pharmacy Company said last Wednesday they would recall 3 lots of the... hang on a second here. Where'd that booger go? Right there. They would recall... after stainless steel contaminants were found in some of the vials. The man's dose came from one of the 3 lots that was also containing doses used on 2 men in their 30s who died in Japan after receiving their second... they got their second... In August, the ministry said no foreign matter was confirmed in either of the vials. A 49-year-old man who was allergic to buckwheat received his second on August 11, and his death was confirmed in the morning of the following day, according to the ministry. It said any causal relationship between his, and death remains unknown. When announcing the recall, and Takeda said, stainless steel is routinely used in heart valves, joint replacements, metal sutures, and staples. As such, it's not expected that injection of these particles identified in these lots in Japan would result in increased medical risk. Well, it wiped out 3 guys. You tell me. The cause of this of the 3 cases is still being investigated. Over 900 million doses of the no has been administered worldwide to date. No said on Friday did not believe the contamination posed a risk to other vials in the lot. Well, I know 3 guys that basically are face down on the planet right now. Yuck. Just yuck. I cannot begin to tell you how much this cracks me up. There's a radio guy who is called Charlemagne. And they had Butt Screw a Guy. I'm sorry, Buttajou. Butt Screw a Guy is his nom de guerre. But Pete Buttajou, also known as Butt Screw a Guy, was really shocked to find out that black people aren't happy with Democrats right now. While speaking at the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God. Quote, you do realize, Pete, a lot of black people feel like Democrats have kept no promises since they've been in office, Charlemagne said. Really? A surprised Butt Screw a Guy responded. Yeah, Charlemagne said. Of that, we need to say no more. Democrats. They really, truly have no idea of how many people they're disenfranchising. Yeah. I don't know if you guys caught up in this one or not, but supposedly, it's safe. It's been tested, looked at, and, is there anything? It's safe. 769 athletes have collapsed while competing over the past year. Average age of players suffering cardiac arrest is just 23 years old. The timing of this sweeping phenomenon could not be more relevant, perfectly coinciding with the rollout of the experimental. Yes. Some of those guys have kicked off. Amazing. I don't know if you guys caught up with this one or not, but I got to have the appropriate, sound effect here. We're talking about none other than, well, you know him, you love him. You're stuck paying for his stuff, but we're talking about the name is. Yes, we're talking about. Yeah, so President President Kaka is suffering the hardship struggles they're in a long drawn out affair because, well, the polling is not good. And let's just say it's really, really not good. How bad is it? 1 in 5 Democrats want Trump back. TruthPressNews.com. Biden polling collapse continues. 1 in 5 Democrats now want Trump back. I really don't have to say anything further on that one, man. That is just exactly everything we need to know about what's happening with Joe Kaka. Folks, you got to give me 1 second here. I got to open the door for Mrs. Dude. She forgot her house keys. Be right back. All right, so we're back. I don't know if you heard about this one or not, but there's really no charitable way to say this other than to say this, but Nancy Pelosi has tested positive for the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. And it's so bad that, She basically has had everything she needed to do in terms of getting the she's had all of the every bit, every kind of she just went overboard and got up. Dang, sound guy, I think she's had enough, okay? Jeez. All right, so anyway, she's basically had every bit of the okay. Wait. She tested positive for the Chinese Communist covert viral infection, and she was smooching with Joe Kaka. No, supposedly Joe Kaka is getting tested all the time. I tend to think that the Chinese Communist viral infection has better taste and goes, oh, I'm sorry, I can just go. No zone. No zone. So Joe Kaka is now expressly known as the no zone. That's right. No zone. Yeah, he's expressly the no zone. But supposedly everybody around him is dropping like flies with the Chinese Communist covert viral infection, and I don't know what the deal is with that one. So anyway, way, shape, and form, that's the way it's going on with that one. I do not believe some of the stuff coming out here with some of the just stridently goofy craziness on the left side of the aisle, shall we say? But supposedly, Megan Rapinoe, the purple-haired freak that basically is just pissy. She's just pissy. Who does she go after this time? Well, she's now the lackluster lesbian, lambasting a liberal actor. She's now pissing and moaning about the actor The Rock. But supposedly, she just is dogging on him because she doesn't like the XFL logo or some such. I don't know. Well, this is awkward. Only thing The Rock and XFL 2023 are going to be cooking up as a response to the cease and desist and the entire new brand ID. At Together XR got this on lock, boys. She's just pissy. I mean, there's really no other way to describe her other than she's pissy, okay? There's really no other way to describe Megan Rapinoe other than just, yeah. She's just pissy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had a really hard day. Been banging down a ton of iced tea, and I finally got the duck Hillary. A couple minutes of quiet here in the men's room. Ooh-wee. I need to do this. Hey, what are you doing here, Hillary?
Oh, wait, Bill. I'll show you how it's done.
Speaking of pissy lesbians, oh, Hillary Clinton, oh, yuck. All right, scrolly. This one is most expressly, seriously, unbelievably bad. This is really, really bad. How bad is this? It can be said it's gone square into. Missed it. Yeah, it's square into the no zone. Okay, I'm simply just going to put it out there, folks. I gotta have the appropriate sound guy. The really, really bad. Yeah, surrounded by happy tra-la-la kind of foofiness in the Disney sphere of influence. We're talking about, of all things, the Disney Cruise Lines. Now, this is really, really, really bad. How bad is it? Um, well, it's okay. I know I've been teasing the crap out of it. Okay, supposedly, I believe it was Fort Lauderdale was the launch off point, and I've been to the Fort Lauderdale cruise port. I've also been to the Port Canaveral cruise port. So both of those are on the east coast of Florida. Actually, they're really not that far apart, about an hour or two apart, maybe 90 minutes, worst case. But anyway, I've used both of those, and from the Fort Lauderdale cruise port, a Disney cruise vessel. I forget which one it was. I'd have to go into the article to see. But anyway, what it was is there was a child who was being groped, manhandled, inappropriately touched by a cast member. And one of the other cast members observed this and was like, oh, no, no, this can't stand. I'm going to have to let the cops know about this. Well, she was told, do not call the police. Don't call anybody. Don't do anything until we are offshore. Once they leave the port and they're offshore, then you can report it to somebody, because then we're going to go to a foreign port and we'll be probably in Bermuda or someplace like that. And you know what? They really don't give two squats. So literally was not allowed to give a report until they were offshore, because nobody then would bother to do anything. The crime occurred while docked in port in the United States, and the employee was told, don't call the cops. Folks, don't spend a dime for anything Disney right now until they do a major overhaul on a whole bunch of perversion. Not cool. Of course, you heard about the whole thing about, Zuckerberg. There's a video out now, or movie, call it what you will. And just look up, like Zuckerberg underhanded type stuff, and you'll find the video. And it's supposedly really, really good. GOP Representative Massey brings a major Second Amendment bill to Congress. He's trying to get rid of the federal mandated gun-free zones around schools. Well, if you load up and you basically strap up and you're able to stop the bad guy on school property, that's better than the bad guy being the only guy who's armed, because the law-abiding people don't want to break the law. Scrolly. I think I'm probably going to have to close up with one of these, but I only got a couple more news stories. But like I said, Gilbert Gottfried, sir, you're going to be missed, man. That was just sad to hear. Now you guys heard about this one? This is absolutely hilarious. Supposedly there was a flight, and an unruly on an American flight to Charlotte was duct taped to the seat, and she was hit with the largest FAA fine ever. And I do mean ever. How bad did she get raped, pillaged, and burned? Well, let's just say she got
Death! By Snoo Snoo!
Oh, no, sound guy. It was not death by Snoo Snoo. It was she was unruly, and she was duct taped to the seat for the American Airlines flight to Charlotte on July, and she was fined. I read this number, and it's just like, I cannot believe that she got that hard. Well, she got it that hard, but she got a fine of $81,950. Oh, I got it that time. The woman was flying from Dallas-Fort Worth to Charlotte on an overnight flight that landed on Charlotte on July 7. According to the FAA, the woman threatened to hurt a flight attendant after falling into the aisle. The passenger then pushed the flight attendant aside and tried to open the cabin door. That doesn't work when you're in the air. There's air pressure on it, and you can't do it. The FAA announced the latest round of fines for unruly passengers Friday. 2 flight attendants attempted to restrain the passenger, but the woman repeatedly hit one flight attendant in the head. According to the FAA, she also bit and tried to kick the crew, according to the FAA. The video was posted on TikTok at the time, since been removed, showed the woman in visible distress, was strained to her seat as passengers left the plane in the Charlotte airport. The woman was transported to the hospital for evaluation after the flight landed safely to Charlotte Douglas International. American Airlines said at the time, the Charlotte Mecklenburg police were also present in landing, according to the airline. I don't know if she was hammered, but she just got a bad case of $82,000. Okay, how do you fly nowadays and you don't get jacked with this kind of flying in painful fine amount? Well, sit down, be pleasant, uh, do everything possible, and just don't be a don't be a
Dick.
there you go. Okay, don't be a
Dick.
see, it's easy. Just don't be a
Dick. 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 Dick.
sound guy's getting a little excited with the replay button.
Dick.
Don't be a
Dick.
I think they got that part, sound guy. All right. So fly nice and don't be a
Dick.
I was going to say an unruly passenger, but
Dick.
all right, on that on that note, folks, I think we're pretty much done here. Why? Because sound guy seems to be stuck in a groove and he's not stopping. Oh man. He's not stopping. He's going to be how he is, and that's just how he rolls. All right, folks. So here we are, basically doing the fun stuff. And hang on a second here. What the hell we got going on here? That. All right, so I'm going to break up this one, folks. Eco temperature as always. You guys had many other things to do today, but you guys decided to hang out with me, and I truly appreciate your kind intentions. And I guess I'll catch you guys next week. Good stuff like that there. And appreciate your kind intentions. I'm going to break up with this one, so see you guys next week. Simulcast on YouTube, simulcast on Facebook, video stuff like that there. Appreciate your kind attention. Catch you guys next week, and I will see you then. See you guys, and rest in peace, Gilbert. You were a lot of fun. See you guys.